Bonjour everyone. So what you have on front of you today are two Peugeot 505 and they are made by DCT slash Shadow. I'll get to that later. More important is that these two are a gift by Wojtek. So Wojtek is a fellow collector, diecast collector, which I've been watching his content and vice versa since about a year or so. I think I actually encountered him because we were both watching someone else, which don't do video anymore. But anyway, so I've been enjoying watching his stuff since quite a while. He showed various stuff, not only 164 but also larger scale item. He's watching my thing too. We are sometimes joking each other. And what you have to know about him is that so basically why he made the decision to do that nice favor to me. Well, like I said, we like to talk to each other, and also a thing about him, Wojtek. I think I'm pronouncing that name properly. I hope. Let me know. He is a Polish man, but he lives in Ireland. And recently, in one of his videos, I mentioned it to him that I have some Polish ancestry, and he was quite enthusiastic about that. And basically, long story short, he told me, one day I'm gonna send you a package full of diecast Polish car, but so far I can't, so I'm gonna send you something else. And he called this gift a stopgap, which, I'm very happy of these two in the first place, especially because this one was a surprise. I knew about this one because he showed this one in in a YouTube shorts, I believe, and I commented on the fact that him and other friend had one, but not me. And so he said, well, I'm gonna change that, and so now I have these two. So Wojtek, thank you a lot for these two items, especially for the surprise. In fact, for a second when I saw that there were two cars, I thought it was maybe a mistake from the seller because he bought his stuff on AliExpress, and I never bought from them, so maybe I thought it was a mistake, but no, it was just a very nice surprise for me from him, yes. And yes, so I will put a link of his channel, check him out. Interesting stuff to watch, like I said, in various scale. Obviously mostly focus on 164 and 2 inch, but he venture into other stuff. Anyway, so these two items are, so like I said, from one brand but called two different way. So we have diecast team DCT or Shadow. So these are two these brand are, or this brand, like I said, is from China. You might have seen lately that there are plenty of these new type of brand for China. They are a bit mysterious because we don't know too much about them, to where they make them or whatever, because when you look at their packaging, usually they don't say too much. For instance, we barely know anything about the main company, and it's the same on this one. In fact, the packaging outside of the different type of coloring it's exactly the same. So that's why I know that they are the same. It's just a rebranding. So first DCT and then they are now Shadow. And yes, also one of the particular thing about this new Chinese diecast brand is that it's a bit of an argument for collector, the licensing, because these are no license. You see, you don't see any license by Peugeot, blah blah blah. No, you don't see any of that, and so it's a big argument in the diecast world. Personally, even though I tend to understand why some people might have issue with unlicensed stuff, for me, my take is the following. When no any European maker will do a nice diecast version of this car, I will buy it. But they don't, so far, I'm only buying this. That's it. And if you wonder, it's not my first model of this kind. I mean, it's my first DCT slash Shadow slash whatever. But it's not my first Chinese diecast because I have already 3 of them. I'm gonna show you briefly one of them. So this is an X-Car Toys. It's a Citroën Fukang or ZDX. I never did a video on this actually, so I'm showing you now, or at least I never did an in-depth video. But I did make a video about my other X-Car Toys, which is about the Buick GL8. So again, I will put a link if you never seen it and want to see. Anyway, so yes, I'm interested about this type of diecast for the reason I mentioned before. They do some subject matter that the other brand don't, or at least not yet, and so they are nice to me. So while I'm gonna start to unbox these, I'm gonna talk to you a bit about the Peugeot 505. So it's a car from the brand Peugeot, of course. It's a, I'm gonna say what is that? My fingers are dirty. Anyway, so the 505 is, like I said, a sedan from Peugeot. It's on a slightly larger size. It's not a full-size car, especially for American point of view, but it was a fairly common car on European road and all elsewhere, but I'll get to that later. And it was kinda fancy, but not that much. Basically, you had some basic version that you that were used, you know, as taxi, as police car, and civilian, of course. But you had some rather fancy version with some V6 and luxury version, some GTI version. So they came in 2 body size. So these were made. It depends on the country, but they started making them in 1979, and the French production stopped in 1992. I say French production because these were made in multiple countries, and in China they were made until 1997. And basically this car, like I said, it was sort of the luxury car of Peugeot, because now Peugeot had a larger car called the 604 that they made in the 70s to mid 80s, but when they stopped making them, actually I do have one, it's done by Noel in 166, it's fairly old. But so when they stopped making them, the 604. So they didn't replace it directly at first, and so this kinda took the role as the flagship car in Peugeot lineup until the 605 came out, pretty much at the end of production of this car. And currently in the Peugeot lineup, we do have a car in the 500 series. It's the 508. And even though it's the larger car of their lineup, it's a bit smaller than this. Because Peugeot does not offer an executive car anymore, like this type of car. It stopped after the 607. Anyway, so yes, there were a sedan, a wagon, there were some prototype for a convertible and a coupe, because the ancestor of this car, the 504, yes, I know it's confusing, or maybe not actually, had a coupe and convertible. And also, they tried this prototype because this car, like I said, was sold a bit worldwide. So obviously in Europe, they were made also in other places, Asia, like I mentioned, but they were sold in the United States, where they sold in OK number, where they were sort of seen as a kinda alternative luxury car for those who did not want to buy a Cadillac or a Mercedes-Benz or something like that. And what I was saying, yes, also the 505 in the state. In the 80s, the New York City taxi company had a decent amount of them because these were offered in a diesel version. They were quite famous for that because, like I said, the 505 was a car that offered many different engine and trim and whatnot. They even came as a four-wheel drive lifted wagon, not a pickup truck because that was the 504, which continued to be produced in the meantime. And yeah, so now that I've talked a bit about the 505 enough, I think. Oh, and speaking, I was telling you about the US spec wagon, the US spec. If you want to see a review of a US spec 505 wagon, Doc DeMio, which in my opinion is the best car channel on YouTube, he did a review about one of these a few years ago. Again, I will put a link if you're curious. Obviously, I'm not affiliated to him, but it's a nice video that I recommend to you. That's gonna be annoying, but at least I know that there will be no screw, so that's less annoyance, which is better for video purpose at least, because I usually skip when it became hard to open. It's fairly tight. I don't want to break something. So we're gonna put that over there. We have a nice little plinth. I think we could call that. You'll notice that it never said Peugeot because they know that they do something a bit not on the most legal way. But anyway, like I said, you can care about that or not, it's up to you. So we're gonna do that one, and then I'm gonna skip while I'm opening the second one. Okay, so I'm back with these two car unboxed. So we're gonna take a look at them. So they should be somewhat similar because I'm guessing that they use somewhat similar base for the casting. I'm gonna do that. Gonna be better. Yes. Thank you. So we have some nice details all around. Interesting that one has the yellow headlight and one doesn't. So I guess this would be a fun spec, while the other one maybe not. So we have the nice lens headlight. I'm gonna do. Actually, we're gonna look at them one by one. I think it's gonna be better for me. So we'll start with the wagon. We have suspension. Nope, that's okay. So we have a, I think it's a plastic base. I think it would have been nicer if they put what the car is, because obviously I know, but you know, sometimes you have to think that one day this is gonna be a used product that someone gonna try to sell on whatever website, and if you don't know that it's a Peugeot 505 with its written on this, that's gonna be annoying. It's put together. So obviously we have authentic rims, like I said. They look pretty good to me, with some minor holes, even though they are quite small. But that's how wheel design were back then. No open, big open spoke like today. And I like web caps of this period. But anyway, not the subject. So what do we have here? We have something that you cannot see. 505 GR, oh yes, that's the trim level, which is a fairly basic trim level of this car. So yes, it's a very nice version. We cannot see the interior too much. Do we have? Yes, we have seats in the back, because these came before minivan were even a thing. There were a time where station wagon had a third row in the back. So now we're gonna have a last look at the car, at the wagon itself. You see, the 505 had a very traditional styling. It was a nice looking car. It was designed by Pininfarina actually, and the interior was designed by a man called Paul Braque. He was a French designer, and you designed some car for Mercedes, like the SL Pagode or some BMW, and he did the interior on this. But like I said, the exterior was done by Pininfarina, like its predecessor, the 504. I mean, this car, now that I think about this car were pretty much the equivalent to a Mercedes-Benz W123, because they were, you know, they were simple and very tough car, but they were fancy. But like I said, simple, I mean, not simple, but you know, a well-built car. These were the last rear-wheel drive car from Peugeot, and yes, so they were fancy but very well-made car. In fact, a lot of them, after they ended their first life in the Western world, ended their life in Africa, where they were used in the more extreme way, let's put it that way. So yes, so now we're gonna take a look at the sedan. And this one is what spec it is. It is a turbo injection. So yes, it's quite a high spec version. So the front end is identical. We have the alloy wheel. We have nice defroster line. I don't remember if you had one some. No, we didn't. We have some nice badge. Gonna take a look now. It's black on black, which I'm gonna be honest is not my favorite type of color combo, but I'm quite happy nonetheless. We have a sunroof, because like I said, this was a fancy version. I think I said that about 3 times, but anyway. It's here we have a, I think we have a Peugeot badge on the steering wheel, so that's a very nice detail, which I didn't expected. A little spoiler, because it's well, I told you it's the fancy version, but kinda sporty too. So we have some side marker, which almost remind me of the US spec one, but I don't think that it's a US spec. No, it's not, because I told you about the headlight, which are yellow, and US spec headlight were a bit different looking because of the regulation, and bumper also were bigger. Anyways, so this one is, now this one doesn't even say the brand, because we saw that this one at least say diecast team, but this one doesn't. Not too good, like I said, but it is what it is. No, we don't have a suspension, I don't think. We're gonna put them a bit on the, because I'm curious about something which I don't know. We're gonna do this. Yes, thank you. Yes, they are the same length. I was wondering, because I forgot that fact. So I'm very happy about these two. I'm gonna put them on the thing. So I'm very happy about these two. They're very nice new entry in my Peugeot collection, and we're gonna put the other Peugeot. Oh, I forgot to mention something. We're gonna do a minor scale comparison, because obviously these are two 164 scale. This is 166, but it was a slightly larger car, like I mentioned. So how do they compare? Yes, actually they are the same size, because like I said, larger car but smaller scale. So that makes sense. So again, Wojtek, thank you a lot for what you call a stopgap. That's a very bad word, I would say. I'm joking, of course. So thank you. And again, check his channel out. I think that you won't regret it, I hope. And yeah. And so on that, thanks for watching.